It is said that in the making of Arda he endeavoured to draw Osse to his allegiance, promising to him all the realm and power of Ulmo if he would serve him. So it was long ago there arose great tumults in the sea that wrought ruin to the lands. But Uinen at the prayer of Aula restrained Osse and brought him before Ulmo, and he was pardoned and returned to his allegiance, to which he remained faithful. For the most part, for the delight in violence has never wholly departed from him. Welcome to Tales of Arda, where we discuss and explore Middle-earth. Today we are back with a video on the Maiar. Who were the Maiar? Where did they come from? What powers do they have? All those questions will be answered in today's video. First, we will go through the history of the Maiar. In the beginning of time, there was Eru Iluvatar, who was the one god above everyone. Under his rule were the Ainu, spirits created by Eru. These spirits sang the world into being. Each of them was given a different level of power by Eru. Most powerful of these was Melkor, later known as Morgoth. When the world was sang into existence, some of the Ainur came down into the world to prepare it for the coming of the children of Iluvatar, elves and men. The most powerful of these Ainur were the Valar, who ruled the world as Eru commanded from Valinor. These Valar were Manwë, Melkor, Ulmo, Mandos, Lorien, Orome, Tulkas, Vardar, Yavanna, Niena, Varje, Este, and Nessa. To serve and aid the Valar, lesser spirits also came down upon the earth. These would later be known as the Maiar. Now that it is clear who the Maiar are and where they come from, we'll go over the general dealings in the First Age. The Maiar served the Valar by helping with their creations and other things the Valar needed of them. The Valar also taught the Maiar their knowledge for them to pass it on to other beings such as elves. While the War of the Jewels was going on in Beleriand, the Maiar didn't do anything notable. But at the end of the First Age, there was the War of Wrath, when the Valar sent aid to the elves and men who were fighting against Morgoth. The Valar sent most of the Maiar as soldiers to fight in the battle. These beings were more powerful than normal elves, so they could rival Morgoth's corrupted Maiar. After this, not much is noted on the dealings of the Maiar. If one is to believe the Dagor to be canon, then the Maiar also fight in the battle, as it was the last and final struggle against Morgoth. There is an uncountable amount of Maiar that are not named, but here is every named Maiar and its backstory. First, we have Eonua. Eonua was the herald of Manwë, and he was also the most powerful of the Maiar. Eonua is unheard of in the early part of the First Age, but has a part to play in the War of Wrath. When the Valar sent their armies to fight Morgoth, Eonua, as the herald of Manwë, was appointed their leader. He led the forces of the West to victory in the deadliest battle fought in Arda, unless of course you consider the Dagor to be canon. After the war, the Valar captured Morgoth and Eonua, took hold of the 2 remaining Silmarils. Maegros and Maegor sneaked into Eonua's camp and stole the Silmarils, because they had sworn an oath to kill and defeat anyone who would not surrender the Silmarils, as Fëanor their father had created them. Maegros and Maegor sent word to Eonua for him to give up the Silmarils to them, but Eonua told them that because of the atrocious actions done by them in the pursuit of the Silmarils, they no longer had any claim to them. Now, Maegros and Maegor at this point had begun to regret taking the oath. But this oath could not lightly be thrown away, for it was sworn in the name of Eru, and they had to complete their oath. Eonua understood this, and when they were captured by the guards, Eonua did not allow them to be killed, and set them free. Later, when Angband was emptied, Sauron came and surrendered to Eonua, seeing the full power of his force. Sauron asked to be pardoned for his bad deeds and set free. But Eonua, knowing that no good would come of this, told Sauron to return to Valinor and receive judgment from the Valar. Eonua would also fight in the Dagor Dagorath. There are 3 versions to this battle. First, Eonua kills Morgoth. Second, Durin kills Morgoth. Third, Tulkas kills Morgoth. Next Maiar is Sauron. Sauron was second in power only to Eonua. He was the Maiar of Awole the smith. This is where he would learn of runecraft. In the days of Morgoth's might, he was corrupted by the Dark Lord and turned to his service. This is when Sauron becomes a fallen Maiar and is not as powerful as his previous self. So technically, he is not a Maiar anymore. You guys probably know Sauron's later history. Some other Maiar are Ilmare and Salma. Ilmare was a handmaiden of Arda, while Salma is a Maiar of Ulmo in Tolkien's earlier writings. Now we will look at Melian the Maiar. It is unknown what extent of power Melian possessed. In Valinor, Melian served under both Vanna and Este. From Yavanna, she learnt the recipe for lembas bread, which she would later pass on to Galadriel. Before the First Age, she would go to Beleriand. Here, she transforms into an elf, so she's not a Maiar then. Melian's dealings in Beleriand are told in the story of Doriath. After the destruction of Doriath, Melian returned to Valinor. Rhiannon was a Maiar of Ulmo and the wife of Osse. She befriended the elves, but did nothing notable of action. Osse was also a Maiar of Ulmo, and he loved to make storms in the sea. Rhiannon would be the one to restrain him. The 5 Istari, or the wizards, are also Maiar, and the story is told in full in our latest video. The Balrogs are Maiar. These, as Sauron, were fallen Maiar who took the form of great fiery demons when in the service of Morgoth. Not much more is noted of how they came in the service of Morgoth. Arien was the Maiar that was chosen to guide the vessel of the sun after the destruction of the 2 trees. Tilion, on the other hand, was the Maiar that guided the vessel of the moon. This is pretty much it on the Maiar of Tolkien's works. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed.